Is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and before we get into this video, I just wanted to ask you to please subscribe if you have not already. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every day at 9:30 p.m. EST, so if you like what you see and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I am also a pretty small channel, so I do pay a lot of attention to the comments and the likes, so if you want to give me some additional feedback there, I will know what you guys like to see. Enjoy the video. Doing something a little bit different here today. As you can see, these seconds are ticking down a lot faster than normal seconds would. That's because we are going to be watching some sped up footage so that I can critique the entirety of the first week of the Brave Princess Questing League. So we're going to be looking at all of the games from the first week here. I didn't think any of the games were particularly noteworthy. Some exciting things do happen, and I want to keep you guys posted. But I didn't. There wasn't really enough to just for one video. Any particular game that combat was a little bit annoying, to lose a 4 glory to an egg and then also have my opponent win the 4 glory, because double Sherwood Sure Shot is a pretty strong board. We see another pair here, which is pretty sweet, but they're awkward to pick up. They're not going to be that strong on the board, so I'm just going to Shrink Spell and lock the shop, and we'll pick them up next turn. Going to buy the Genie's Wish first, though, to activate or halfway activate the Cinderella, and unfortunately that rolls the shop, which means bye-bye to Polywoggle, but we didn't really need the Polywoggles. They would have been awkward because you're not really tripling them, so they can be awkward, but we do see a pair of Romeos here, so we're on our way for 3 different treasures, which could all work with this Celestial Tiger. Unfortunately, we are going to be losing here to a Cursed King that's got a lot of other stuff going on. Here I can pick up a pair of Romeos and then a Questing Princess. It is a little bit too awkward to cast this Falling Stars here, though, for Cinderella, because that will kill my Sherwood Sure Shots. And interestingly, we are playing up against Miri this combat, and we are certainly doing a huge Miri impression with the units that we are running here. Unfortunately, because of my opponent's Princess Peep and just the extra stats that they have overall, even if maybe they didn't have the horn, we'd be able to take them out, but they do have the horn. Then we roll into this crazy shop, which is 3 different Humpty Dumptys. So we'll grab 2 of them plus a Candy Rain. Next turn we'll be able to get a double Easter egg, plus once we cast a spell we'll be able to flip Cinderella, so that'll get +6/+6. So that is pretty nice too. And then maybe Brave Princess can also slay. It just got a slay right there. But we are going to take a bunch of damage right there. Go down to 13. Let's upgrade this egg. Get an Easter egg. Can't cast any of those spells yet. We do have a Mix-a-Wazzle. I'm going to do that on the egg, so that way it's guaranteed to survive even if we lose the combat. And I go with Hermes Boots just to try to get Brave Princess online as well. So that is the plan here. Gonna buy the Chupacabra. I don't really care about the Nutcracker as much as I'm doing like a Miri impression here. I don't really care about the Nutcracker because it'll give us a level 4 treasure, and we're more focused on grabbing level 2 and 3 treasures. This is a really close combat again, but when my opponent's Sheep and Wolf's Clothing hatches, that is going to kill us. Go for the Telltale Quiver. Could go for the Cloak of the Assassin. Either one is going to give +6/+6 to 2 different units, but I feel like the range stats go a little bit farther. Then I find an upgrade on the Sherwood Sure Shot, and maybe this is a mistake, but I go ahead and upgrade that, and then I've got 4 gold left, so I'm going to go and buy a Puff Puff. But we lose a lot of stats by combining these Sure Shots, and this might wind up being a mistake. See that my opponent also has some insane treasures here. Quiver plus Fire and Ice, and they're going to kill us. So there you go. I think that this game, like, we really got close to making some sweet stuff happen, but unfortunately wind up with an 8th place. So really not what you want to see. We got the best possible treasure for Celestial Tiger, but it's not going to work out. This next game, I'm going to take Krampus, and I'm just going to focus on winning this early game. Fortunately, we don't get any evil units in that first shot, but we are able to Eenie a Unicorn, so at least we do have some extra stats, and that's going to be enough to allow us to tie this combat. Here, this looks like a pretty straightforward buy the Forbidden Fruit, and then we will have 3 units, and 3 units should be enough to win this combat. Not going to invest in the egg, and yeah, just that buffed up Unicorn is going to be good enough. We'll be able to buy 2 more units this time, and again, we're passing by an egg. A lot of eggs in these games, and I think that might be because of just the tournament setting, like seeing that my opponents are playing them too. But of course, this game is just funny because we're being shown so many eggs. Really strong early game, have some extra gold here to make something work. I probably just want to roll for some evil units, and Black Cat is a great evil unit to be able to pick up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cast a Candy Rain. Should have rolled one more time there, but I think I was just low on time and trying to make a decision. But it's not going to matter. We're going to win this combat, get some extra gold from my opponent's prize pig, but we didn't get any extra gold from slaying. Now I'm looking at casting a Root Worm on my opponent's Vampire, and then I'm going to pick up a Mummy and lock a second Mummy in the shop. These mummies are really, really good, especially with how much we are able to support them. My opponent has a pretty good combat here, but we're decently strong at this point in the game. We buy our second Mummy, and we can buy our third Minotaur, so that's going pretty sweet. I take the bounty board because we do have 2 Slay units already, so that is pretty cool. And I'm not sure about this one. I lock a Vampire, but we're going into level 4, so I'm not really sure if that's what I want to be doing. But Vampire plus the Rootworm is just going to keep me strong, and that is like just a huge consideration for me right now. So going into this next turn, we've got 3 extra gold, so pretty sweet. We're going to buy the Vampire, buy the Rootworm, and then we are going to upgrade the Vampire. Cloak of the Assassin, none of these other things are like super exciting, but I'll take Cloak of the Assassin and just have a huge Vampire, and maybe this Vampire can continue to scale and get some slays and help me out here. I'm not sure if I should be backlining the Vampire or not, but I think that it works out well for us here, as you can see, and the Vampire is even going to survive. So quite a large Vampire. Don't really know. Oh, I'm looking at the Chupacabra. I thought I moused over the Creeper there and was considering that. Definitely don't think that that's that strong. Put some extra attack on the Mummy, and then Sporko to put some even additional attack on the Mummy. We'll cut the Black Cat at this point and just play double Mummy, both of which are getting a lot of attack bonuses from our backline supports. We are going to lose this combat, though, to a friendly spirit, unfortunately. I'll buy a Chupacabra, and then I buy the End just to try to grab some strong things from Tier 4. And then I see this Baba Yaga, and I think I gotta try to find a way to pick it up here. I can sell the Black Cat, the Mad Mim, and a Mummy, or I could have sold the Minotaur. I'm not sure which ones I should have sold, but I know that I want to get this Baba Yaga in because we are relying pretty heavily on supports up until this point. So we're going to have a ton of extra cash this turn, and we almost kill the Pied Piper, but this game is actually looking pretty good. This is one of our stronger games. I'm not sure what I should do here, though, and you can see me kind of debating it. Do I want the Nyan Sea Terror? Do I want the Fairy, potentially, because I do have a high attack evil unit? Maybe I could find a high health good unit. You see a little bit punishing for the fact that I threw away a Mummy, and then I'm going to lock a Chupacabra in the shop. My opponent has a pair of dragons which take out my backline, and that is pretty good against us right here. I don't know how they are so powerful already, the Holy Archon, but we're going to complete the Chupacabras, take the Moonsong Horn, grab a level 6 unit from the Mix-a-Wazzle and throw that in the back line. I can now Mix-a-Wazzle this, and yeah, might as well put it in, get some use out of the Mix-a-Wazzle. And what are we looking for here? We don't really need experience. Well, I guess that's something. I guess we will take the Sea Terrors again. We'll try on that one and try to grab some level 5 treasures. So yeah, pretty strong on this combat, fighting up against the Ghost. And we actually get the Nyan Sea Terror. What happened there? How did we get it? I'm not sure. I don't remember. But we have that. Maybe I just bought it. I don't know. I'm confused. But yeah, you can see I'm still definitely considering like the fairies, just because we are growing our units so incredibly. But I think, I mean, I'm basically just looking for pumpkins here, with the fact that I picked up the Staff of the Old Toad. Pumpkin's just going to work pretty well with Krampus. Going to take 8 there from Beauty, but should be good otherwise. And, yeah, I mean, we were strong enough to get us to this point, this game. But, oh, that's right. The other Oni King that we had wasn't really an Oni King. It was a Mix-a-Wazzle. So I totally forgot about that. I bought a second Sea Terror and didn't lock because I had an Oni King. Okay, yeah, that's something you can definitely miss, especially at the increased speed. We're going to take a ton of damage there. That Wonder Waddle was just super strong. All lobby, they were playing with like level 6 units way too early in the game. We have to sell 3 things here to pick up this pumpkin, so kind of awkward. We'll probably have to break up some pairs or something, but we can definitely sell the Minotaur and the upgraded Sea Terror, because I think I want to hang on to these Oni Kings because we have all of these monsters in this comp that want to attack. And that is not going to be enough. We're going to clear my opponent's entire board, but then they're going to get a Greedy, and this Greedy is just going to be huge. We're going to leave them with like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 extra gold into their next shop, and we probably set them well up for success, but unfortunately, we are just not going to be able to deal with that. The combat was actually a little bit unlucky for us in the fact that their friendly spirit hits on their wombats. So I believe one of their friendly spirits dies, goes on the second friendly spirit, and then that friendly spirit dies, goes on an upgraded wombat. So just kind of unlucky triggers there for us. My opponent got a lot of value out of those death rattles and then was just able to make a huge monster. So no way that we were going to be able to deal with that one, unfortunately. And we're going to get a 4th place after a pretty strong start, which is definitely unfortunate. In game number 3, we are going to be playing Horde Dragon. So there are a lot of different powerful things that we can do with Horde Dragon. We do see a pair here. Excuse me, but the pair is a little bit awkward because it is Polywoggles. And there you go. There are the eggs that we were talking about. We're going to go with a Mad Mim here, maybe get this Polywoggle to slay, and then I'm realizing, you know what, I can just sell the Polywoggle after a free roll and potentially buy a better unit, and we just face up against another Egg Gamer. Really unfortunate, but we're going to pick up a pair of Crafties here, and hopefully we can do something with those. If we can combine them, we're going to get a level 3 treasure. Maybe that will be powerful enough, and then they'll also get +3/+3. I think Crafty's a fine unit when you are looking to combine things. We lose a 50-50 to lose that combat, unfortunately, though, and that is going to mean that we take some extra damage. Playing up against Peter Pants and Fanny is definitely a good way to give us some stats on this board, but we basically only have 4 units, and then we've just got 2 supports in the back line. So we trade 1 for 1, we trade 1 for 1, and then actually our front line units survive. They are strong enough, so things are looking good again. Ogre Princess got us a Romeo. We can pick up a pair of unicorns and see what we can make happen with that. Then I'm going to go ahead and pick up a mummy, and we're going to bench the unicorns for now, but mummy alongside this mad mim should be good. Ogre princess potentially gets a slay, and then we've got a pair of 3/3s, but my opponent is looking really powerful with an upgraded Fanny already, so we're going to take a ton of damage there, unfortunately. Do some rolling, can pick up a Romeo, and then actually find another Romeo. So the question is, do I want to sell and find it this turn? And I decide to go for it because that is going to buff up my crafties as well. And this was a really big decision point. Do I want to take the Forking Rod as Horde Dragon? Because I do like Hatballing as Horde Dragon, but I did also just sell off my pair of 2s. Luckily, Ring of Rage is going to be enough to let us win this combat, and then Ogre Princess taunts us by giving us the unicorn after we've just sold our unicorns off. So I am going to turn that unicorn into XP, because one of the other powerful things that Horde Dragon can do is make level 7 treasures. So I think that Friendly Spirit makes us considerably more powerful, and that goes well with the Ring of Rage as well. And hopefully we can make something happen here. And we are able to make something happen with that Romeo just barely surviving thanks to the Friendly Spirit. We'll use Crafty, and we can pick up a level 3 treasure. And we see Crystal Ball, so it would have been really nice to have picked up that Forking Rod, but we'll just go with the Sting, put that on the Mummy. Could also put that on a Dwarf, could also put that on a Friendly Spirit. There's a lot of different options as we play this like supported board here, but I think putting it on the Mummy is going to be fairly straightforward, and it does get a nice kill for us. Not sure if we needed it at this increased speed. But this combat's going to be really, really close. My opponent surviving with 1 health on one of their minions. So I can't really be too upset about that. Baby Bear, though, that is a great option to Sting. I'm not sure if I want to Mad Mim it as well, because I think the Sting might just be good enough, and this way I can also Mad Mim the Tweedledum. So this is the plan here. I'm going to go with a Ride of the Valkyrie just to buff up this team a little bit more. And you can see the Baby Bear is definitely doing some work here, but so is my opponent's Court Wizard. We are going to be able to get through this combat. I was also the whole time like pretty interested in a Juliet. One just never came up. And then we do see a Juliet here, but it's also alongside some Mad Mim, so I'm going to pick those up instead. And then I finally will take a Crystal Ball, and I will take a Juliet as well. Some silly things that you can do with Juliet and Copycat, but I also want to make use of my Sting in the first position, and by that I mean make use of it by putting Baby Bear in there. My opponent gets some really crazy good Sork triggers there, and just some all-around good attacks, so that combat is not quite going to go our way. I buy XP to hit 6 and potentially look for something like Good Boy, or try to find a way to hit level 6 treasures, or level 7 treasures rather. And I do want to pick up this Hercules, because level 7 treasures from Hercules could just be really sweet. So we are going to try to get our Copycat to trigger Romeo, and honestly we probably get a little bit lucky in doing so, but we do get a win with that one. And now we are playing up against the Ghost, so I feel pretty decent about our chances for at least hitting the top 4 with this one, as we're already on to the top 5, and hopefully somebody can die on this round. Gonna purchase another Copycat, and at this point we just don't have room for the Baby Bear. So I buy the Polywoggle, and I am locking the True Love's Kiss because I'm thinking, hey, maybe this Hercules can slay. Unfortunately, and by slay I mean activate its treasure. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to, and one person was eliminated though, so that means that we are in the top 4. But now we have to play up against the lobby leader. I'll take this Copycat, and I need some stats. I'm definitely feeling the heat here, so I'm gonna go for Sword of Fire and Ice and just toss the crystal ball, unfortunately, and just play these units here. Are we still good? Yes, we are. Okay. I totally missed this combat because my camera cut out. Let's take a look at it again. Sorry about that. So let's see. The Sword of Fire and Ice, how much is that going to help us? Not really. My opponent is ball forking and they have an Easter egg this time. So they are pretty powerful. We wind up actually taking third place as one of our opponents dies before us. One of our opponents only had 2 health, so they wind up dying. Then in this game, we take Sharon, who I think is just a good hero for playing good on-board stuff. I've talked about that a lot before. I like taking the kitty with Sharon, but let's just take the bad Billy, even if we win this combat. And of course, it's another egg. Like, so many eggs. It's actually crazy how many eggs come up in all of these games. I'm going to lock a bad Billy triple, but I'm hesitant to take it because it's kind of anti-synergistic with Sharon to upgrade your unit immediately. Unfortunately, Bad Billy does not die in this combat, so that is pretty awkward as well. But I think what my plan always was is to, oh, actually I just buy it. Okay, that's really interesting. So I buy it, and then I buy the Cinderella, which I've given +1/+1, and this opponent has 2 eggs. What the heck is even happening? This is crazy. So playing against somebody now with 2 eggs, just absolutely bonkers. I'm going to frontline only the Bad Billy, so that way it is reasonably likely to get the Sharon buff. I also could have considered frontlining the ranged unit, so that way that could have gotten the Sharon buff too, and that goes pretty far. Our opponent is not an egg gamer for the first time, but unfortunately we're not going to get too much farther than that. I locked this triple, but this is where I don't pick up the triple because I am afraid that that will just deny me too many stats. Plus, if Stag gets to give +3/+3 to each of these ranged units, that is actually really, really powerful. So I like that. Next turn I can buy another one. Unfortunately, it's not going to go off here. Like, just really, really not our day. But that's fine. We take 10 damage. Now we can buy 2 ranged units, so we will still have 2 different ranged units that are being supported by this Stag, and that could wind up being a lot of stats. Unfortunately, though, it is really awkward that we're playing this Shadow Assassin with no Slay units. We definitely want to get some Slay units, and I like Slay units with Sharon. Something like Ogre Princess or something like that can be really strong. Now, we do get our Shadow Assassin to attack here, so, or not our Shadow Assassin, our Stag to attack. So that's probably going to be enough to allow us to win some combats. I'm going to pick up a Vampire, and honestly, like, seeing this now, I could have considered just casting this spell onto the Shadow Assassin too, but we're picking up 2 Slay units here. They'll probably get the Sharon buff. Like, everything in our front line right now is good to receive the Sharon buff, but there we go. There is a Sharon plus a Slay, and now our Shadow Assassin is actually pretty big. We're going to wind up tying this combat, but still a big Shadow Assassin nonetheless. Would love to find an upgrade for this Vampire. And then I find a Chupacabra, though. And we've got so many Shadow Assassins. We're just kind of playing an old school Slay comp here. I do want to cast this for glory because I do want my Cinderella to activate at some point. Cinderella, when it activates, will give me a tier 3 treasure, which could be something really good for us. Vampire will trigger and get its Slay, but my opponent just has some huge backline minions, so we're not going to be able to win. We are going to be able to pick up a Hermes Boots, though, which works really well with this comp. And then I don't go for the Genie roll, Genie's Wish. I do go just for a normal roll as a free spell, though, and then I take the power orb just to give all of my units +1/+1. I'm like, okay, I think I just need some onboard stats right now. Take the Brave Princess because it's a 9/7. Like, it's actually not that bad of stats, but my opponent has some really, really large minions here, like crazy big minions with this happy little tree, plus the Sword of Fire and Ice. So we're dead. Yeah, that's all she wrote. We're going to look at one last game here playing Wonder Waddle. And I was feeling like finally I get a decent hero selection because I really did not have good hero selections all day. But no animals here as Wonder Waddle. We do get to lock a forbidden fruit. It's kind of awkward to lock a no animal shop, but I think locking a forbidden fruit is pretty good. Happy to finally get a win. Finally something is going our way. And we get a Wizard's Familiar too, so that could be sweet as well. Just to be able to try to upgrade that Wizard's Familiar. I think I was probably a little bit rusty in playing some of my games in this section of the tournament. But one thing that is always tough. Oh yeah, I go for Dragon's Nest here. I kind of forgot about this game, but this is kind of an interesting one. Going for a Dragon's Nest and then also having an upgraded Wizard's Familiar pretty early on, actually, which is nice. Definitely want to be purchasing this baby dragon, but I don't think I want to be upgrading it. 2 gold just to upgrade my unit. Like, it's not like the upgraded one gets +10/+10. The upgraded one is just an 11/9. So we're paying 2 mana to really lose a lot of power on the board. And I don't think that that is worth it. But I think that the board is otherwise pretty strong. And then we get to pick up a pair of stags here. So that is pretty cool. And, oh wow, I just skipped that. Okay, pretty interesting. I skip it and then I spend some gold. I think that the Eye of Ares could have been interesting because we have the Sherwood Sure Shots, but I can understand why I didn't pick it up at the same time, because then it just means that my opponent can guaranteed trade 1-for-1 with all of my units, and I thought I was pretty powerful. Turns out some other people are doing some powerful things here too, so we'll see how much that holds. Able to upgrade a pig pretty quickly after that, so that is sweet. Now I can cast this spell for free, as well as any other basically spells that I find on level 3 here. But we're going to be hitting level 4, and I feel pretty strong. The dragons are a little bit awkward, but we are going to have access to another dragon once we hit level 4. We can potentially find some lightning dragons, and we can potentially just keep growing these Wizard's Familiars now that we've picked up a second one. Always interesting to know whether you should go for XP on pants or not. I go for an upgrade on Sherwood Sure Shot, and nothing really super exciting here. I could go for Piggy Bank because I do have an extra gold right now, and then I could like lock the True Love's Kiss, but I just decided to go ahead and roll. My opponent with a huge Cupid, and that's probably enough to do us in. Yeah, it's so strong. It's awkward there too that the baby dragon attacked in the back, because that meant that our Cupid wasn't going to be able to do as much. Here I am going to go for an upgraded dragon. I'm not sure if this was right either, if I should have just stuck with 2 lightning dragons rather than 1 big upgraded dragon. But I figure 1 big upgraded dragon can swing in with the bonus attack and then attack again immediately and basically destroy their backline. Unfortunately, it does trade with the pig, but it's not too big of a deal here. I think we are going to be able to win this one. My opponent has a lot of sheep there with their Ring of Rage looking pretty scary, but we're able to win and keep our pig. So some extra gold for this turn too. We just got to find a place to put it. We'll pick up a 3 blind mice. I do feel like it's fine to upgrade our dragon here as we are just kind of running out of some room on this board. I'll pick up a kidnap here too, and then I just roll down. I do find a chicken eventually, but I don't really want to sell anything that I currently have, so I just ignore the chicken. We definitely win this combat. Yeah, that's the one where my opponent just had trees, and we bring APOC down to 1 health, almost able to kill APOC and that is actually going to be pretty important that we don't kill them, because that is going to leave them with enough health and time to reach level 6. I sell my pig to try to find another pig. I accidentally rolled past a donkey there. I saw it like right at the end of my roll. Then I just continue to roll a bunch more by a stag. I've got 7 stags now, so it's pretty unlikely that I will be able to find another copy of this one, but that's what you get. Are able to win that fight pretty easily against the ghost, and now we are in top 6. Hopefully somebody else can kill that APOC, finish the job that I was unable to, but it's not looking so good. I'm just skipping these treasures here because I feel like, I mean, I can't lose the dragon treasure. That's just too important for what we have on the board. Are going to buy another wizard's familiar, but we'll have to sell our blind mice to do so, and I think that that's fine. I don't know, kind of have to give up on the Wonder Waddle stuff at this point, and was going a little bit too hard looking for it, and I'm going to take a bunch of damage there as a punishment for caring about this Wonder Waddle too much. But I mean, at this point, let's care about it a little bit more. This is kind of an awkward thing when you are like searching this hard on Wonder Waddle, is you should just be taking any treasures that you find, because when you skip the treasures, you're not taking them out of the pool, but we wind up just skipping a whole bunch of treasures here. Buy a 4 glory, maybe a little bit optimistic, and my opponent has a magic sword with a Doom Breath Dragon. So they wipe out my entire field, and they actually wind up killing me for Exaxes, nevertheless. But that is going to end me in 5th place and end me with a pretty bad result after the first week of playing in the questing league for the Brave Princess division. This means that I am in last place after the first week, but we've still got some time. The league is not just 1 week long. It is, I believe it's only 4 weeks long, but it's either 4 or 5. But we still have some time to turn it around, and that's what I'm going to be trying to do this weekend. For right now, the league, the Brave Princess division, is playing on Sundays at 10 a.m. EST. So if you want to watch along and cheer me on kind of live, I will be broadcasting with a 15-minute delay. But if you want to come and cheer me on, you can catch me there live at twitch.tv/NoLucksGiven. I will try to also be monitoring the chat, and I'll probably be responsive in the chat, because by the time that you guys are chatting, I might already be done my games. But I also want to put in some time. I do have a very busy just end of my semester into the holidays right now, but I am planning, like, I want to put in some time this weekend to try to refresh myself with the current patch, because really I was so much more familiar with the previous patch. This patch, I hit Mythic actually really early in the month. I hit it on like the 12th or something. You can tell based off when I put out that video earlier this month on hitting Mythic, but I hit Mythic really early, and then I just kind of checked out because I had so much other, life stuff to do. So kind of have to learn the game a little bit again. That's what's cool about like the keeping Storybook Brawl fresh with the new patches. You get a new game every month to some capacity, just with the small changes that have a large impact there. I'm definitely rambling a little bit, but the point is, I'm going to try to play some more over the next 2-3 days. Hopefully by Sunday, I'll be able to do you proud. Come catch me live, and that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.